Hey guys, welcome back to the Best Here Yet Challenge. We're already in week number 4, and this week is a topic that I get so excited about. I love talking about sales funnels and traffic plans. And it's a little bit different scenario this week than the last couple of weeks have been, as we've been really focused on your vision, your personal life balance, your financials, and how you're going to buy and merchandise your store. Well, this week is about driving traffic to your store. And this week is relevant to every type of member that we have at the Hub, whether you're a boutique owner and you do e-commerce, if you do a storefront boutique, if you have a mobile store, or even if you're a brand, you're a wholesaler and you're trying to reach new boutique owners. Everything in here is going to be relevant to you wherever you're at in your business. And it's also going to be relevant no matter the size of your business. If you're brand new, you have to know these principles. It may take you a little longer to test because you're going to have a smaller audience size, but it's crucial to know where you're going. And if you're big, this is how the money is made. Because if you're big or you're wanting to be big, once you figure this funnel out and you know where to spend your time, energy, and resources, now you're going to start to get the greatest return on your investment. So this week, let's talk about traffic plans. All right, what is a traffic plan? Your traffic plan is your content strategy that maps out your customer's journey from the point where they first discover you to when they finally complete that purchase and then repeat. So the plan will outline how you're going to acquire new customers, how you're going to market to warm audiences, and then how you're going to funnel those customers to purchase from you on the channel of your choice. The plan is meant to give you the big picture roadmap of how you're going to drive traffic and retarget old traffic on all of your social media platforms, email marketing, Facebook ads, like I said, so that each week when you sit down and you plan your marketing strategy, you know exactly what the point is that you're trying to make. So no matter how big or small you are, this same formula is always going to be true. Traffic builds leads, builds sales. Traffic, leads, and sales. And if there's one mistake I see boutiques making quite often, is trying to paint everyone with a wide brush. And if someone is just trying to be acquired as new traffic, or they're a brand new lead and a boutique owner is trying to drive home a sale, it's often not going to convert. And so they feel like they're wasting time or wasting money. So I want you to keep this simple strategy in mind as we go through this training today. All right, so why do this? I want you to look at this idea of a traffic plan and this idea of a sales funnel in two different ways, because they're both crucial to your business, but they're very different. And one is customer acquisition and one is customer retention. You're going to have a strategy of how you speak to new customers and acquire them, but you're going to have another strategy in terms of how you retain old customers, right? So let's think about this in terms of numbers. If only 2% of your e-commerce store visitors convert, you're potentially leaving about 98% on the table, right? If you increase that 2% to 4%, most of the time, depending on what numbers you're running, you're going to almost double your money, right, for monthly revenue. And I could give you all the stats, running the numbers. If you're selling about $2,000 a day at $50 average order value, you're making about 40 purchases. That's going to take you about 2,000 visitors a day to accomplish those 40 purchases, right? But if we increase that conversion rate just to 4%, that same 2,000 visitors is now going to be 80 purchases, giving you $4,000 a day. Big difference, right? In just 2 percentage points. Well, think about that conversion rate, but then think about that 98% that we've left on the table. And how are we going to keep them in our funnel as well? So, customer acquisition, customer retention. Let's spin this another way to look at it. If in terms of our email list and all of our social media property, we generally will make about 80% of our revenue from 20% of our list, which is kind of like the scenario I just gave you. Consider how much time we're spending on each. Because most of the time, boutiques are spinning their wheels trying to acquire new customers and speak to those customers who haven't always purchased, rather than really honing in and deep segmenting and personalized messaging that 20% of the list, which are your best customers. So the funnels that we create today and that we talk about today are going to work for both sides of the list, new and old. But first, and this is true if you're a brand new boutique owner, I need you to hear me first. No matter how much traffic you drive, no matter what you do in marketing and no matter what Facebook ads and how great they are you create, nothing matters unless you first understand your brand, your voice, and you know your customer. This is where it all starts. If you talk to everyone, you reach no one. So who is your girl and what does she specifically need from you? How can you fill that need? Because not everybody can be a trendy, affordable boutique serving women ages 20 to 60, which I hear all the time. Trust me, that's not you. There's more to you. You can serve women in a greater capacity than that. So what is your girl? What's your ideal customer and how can you speak to her? And then we can get really specific about the messaging that we're going to share with her, the product mix that we need to carry in our store, and we know when to deliver the message about those products to her. And we also need to know, where does she hang out most online, right? Is she an Instagram girl? Is she on Facebook? Is she in a Facebook group? Where is she hanging out so that you make sure you're really focusing your time and attention there? That's probably going to be your greatest converting social media platform. But you also have to be willing to look at it as your most high converting social media platform, but also make sure you're building your own property at the same time. You're collecting email addresses, right? You're building web traffic on your Facebook pixel. Because if you're putting all of your eggs in just one basket, if Facebook makes a big algorithm change, surprise, surprise, then it's going to go away tomorrow. So make sure you are developing your own property at the same time as you're spending time in your most high converting social media channel. That was a mouthful. All right, customer acquisition. Let's talk about the types of customers that you come across. And this little chart makes it seem pretty simple, right? But sometimes I think we get so busy trying to acquire a new customer and convert a sale at the same time that we forget we have to warm people up in the meantime, right? You don't just take a girl on her first date and then ask her to marry you, right? There's kind of some steps in the process that you might want to remember. So this is what a sales funnel and traffic plan is all about. So what is cold traffic? Cold traffic is when you're trying to acquire someone for the first time. You just want them to click on your property, like your post, comment on your post, enter the giveaway. Something so that they have their very first touch point with you that is something you can come back to and now start to build a relationship on. The warm audience has already taken that click with you. Maybe it's just one click, maybe it's 5 clicks, and they're somewhere in your funnel, but you now have them in a place where you can start to speak with them, have conversation with them, and build an audience. Build a relationship. And a lot of times that's your Facebook group, or they're following you on Insta stories, they've been to your website, something a little bit more personal, and gives you even more data that you can use to drive them deeper in the funnel. When they're hot, that means they've engaged with you a number of times. They've probably purchased from you at some point. Maybe they've even abandoned a cart and not purchased. Or they're asking questions about products. Maybe the product was out of stock, but they are ready to purchase and you just have to deliver the right product at the right time. So the whole goal is to get people from cold to hot and make sure we're building a relationship along the way. But specifically, let's go beyond that, from cold to hot. This is the ideal boutique sales funnel, okay? So we're going to talk about how we are going to drive traffic from acquisition to relationship to offer to purchase to remarket. This all goes in a big circle. This is the entire life cycle of your business all in one place, okay? This is how it's going to work. In terms of acquisition, this is the very first place your potential customers come in contact with you, right? This is how we get our first traffic and build awareness. So I want to speak specifically about what does that look like in your business and in your marketing strategy. What are you doing to drive new acquisition? This is not to convert a sale, remember, because we have to drive people down the funnel. In fact, if I could go back, acquisition, then relationship, then offer, and then they make a purchase potentially, and then we remarket. If they didn't make a purchase, if they go from offer, they abandon their cart, now we go right to remarketing, right? If they do make a purchase, we're still going to remarket and we're going to pull them right back up into relationship. We're going to skip acquisition. Makes sense? Maybe I should have had a circle graph on here. That would have been easier to explain. But this whole life cycle of your customer goes in a circle. So let's dive into each one of those, specifically what you can do in your business. So with acquisition, here's a few strategies you can use to start building new traffic and acquire new customers. I'm a huge fan of boutiques creating their own marketing video, like a professional video where someone's come into the store or they're visiting with you as the owner. And even if it's not professional, I mean, there's so many great video apps you can use to create these now and just give a little behind the scenes look about you, the owner, and what goes on day to day in your store. But then you take that video and you start to build it into Facebook video ads. And these are usually just a click to website ad type, and they're ongoing with some type of daily budget, whatever your customer with start or whatever you're comfortable with. Start small and build your way up. But the point is, you just want to get your name and your face and your business out there as much as you can to a new audience and start getting people to click the post and click through to your website, because now we can come back to them in the next step of the funnel. This also includes weekly recap posts or new arrivals or featured collections that we talk about a lot in the hub. And these would be boosted or delivered to either a lookalike audience, like a lookalike audience of your best customers or of your website traffic, or to a saved audience that you've specifically targeted. Because again, both of those are cold audiences, and we're trying to acquire them as customers for the first time. Acquisition is also where SEO strategy comes into play. This is your keywords, understanding that target demographic, and you're using those keywords in your rich text, in your product descriptions, in all of your pages, your about page, if you have a blog, all those things on your site. This is where Google AdWords falls. All contests that you do, whether you're building your email list or you're having people be added to your Facebook group, or it's a like, share, win contest and you're just trying to get new eyeballs. This is also brand reps and blogger collaborations and advertising in print magazines. I also consider Pinterest to kind of be in the acquisition category, although it's also down in the relationship category. This is also selling in multi-boutique groups or marketplaces. So for example, at the Boutique Hub, our group's called Shop the Best Boutiques. And there's about 10,000 customers, I think, or maybe more in that group. And all the boutiques who are members of the Hub can post in that group. Now that's your first touch point with those customers. So once they meet you there or purchase from you, now you get them into your funnel. All right? So keep in mind, as you're acquiring new customers, the average person needs to see a message about 7 times before they take action. So consistency and persistency are so key here. Making sure you're building brand awareness while you're driving new traffic is crucial. All right, the next step in the funnel is building a relationship. And the relationship can only be built once that first click is made. So once someone's been acquired through any of the strategies we just talked about, now what, right? Well, if they signed up for your email list, the very first thing they are going to get is an automated welcome series from you. It's going to probably include that video behind the scenes about your boutique. You're going to talk about why you started it, the customers that you serve, your greater why in the world, what your brand is all about, how cool and edgy your brand is, and the products that you carry. You're going to start to build a relationship through the email series. That email series is probably also going to funnel your customers over to Instagram or over to your Facebook group. Again, wherever that highest converting social media platform is going to be for you. This is the same thing if you're running a contest or a giveaway. Like let's say, for example, at the NFR this year with our magazine, Western Runway, we ran a big multi-boutique giveaway. Well, when those email addresses are acquired, then each boutique is responsible for sending a very specific follow-up sequence to that list to warm them and welcome them to that list. Your Facebook pixel is also going to be crucial here because, like I mentioned in the acquisition category, you're showing that video, you're driving a ongoing daily budget video to cold traffic, trying to get them into the funnel. Well, now that we know that someone's actually been to your site, now we can start to speak to them more specifically based on the actions they've actually taken on your site. Ad roll is another great example here. Ad roll is really similar, or basically is a dynamic product ad that you would see on Facebook, except it will be shown across Google, Bing, elsewhere on the internet, not just on Facebook. And so this is in the relationship category, but I would also put it down in the remarketing category. Your organic and paid social media content falls in here. Your behind the scenes snaps, your stories, live video. Live video is probably the most important one here on my list. Welcome bots, if you've started to include any type of bot marketing in Facebook Messenger. And then your on site offer pops. So if someone's taking that first click with you and they're visiting your website, you're going to have a pop-up come up to collect their email address, right? So it's kind of like that next step in the funnel that goes back to the email welcome series. Just trying to build a relationship and let people know that you have what they are looking for. All right, once you've had people in this funnel for a while, you've built a relationship with them. Sometimes it goes quick, sometimes it takes a while. Now you can actually give them an offer. You can ask them to make a purchase with you. How do you do that? Well, this is where you sit down each week and you're building your ongoing email campaigns. Whether you're sending them 3 times a week, 5 times a week, and then you're making sure that you resend them to people who have not yet opened the emails. It's an important little piece not to forget. This is also bots, going back to the last slide, showing new arrivals within Facebook Messenger. This is your weekly collections and recap posts and Facebook ads, but this time they're driven to warm audiences, so people who've already been to your website, people who like your page, people in any one of your custom audiences. This is daily organic sales posts where you're actually posting the link or doing comments sold and asking them to buy. Again, this is Pinterest. I said that would fall in a couple categories, as well as Instagram. Because now that Instagram has swipe up shopping, you can start to ask for that sale immediately right on the platform without having to direct them out to your Facebook or to your website link. And then I mentioned in the last slide Facebook Live. And there's 2 different ways to look at Facebook Live. You could either be doing it just to build a relationship, talk on camera, talk about what's new, talk about events you're doing, which is relationship, or doing the actual Facebook Live sale, which is the offer. You're asking them to buy something while you're live on Facebook. And another one I want to mention that's really similar here, but I don't see many people taking advantage of yet, are Instagram try-on sessions, where you're using Insta Stories to basically run a Facebook Live sale. And then finally, strong product descriptions and on-site strategy, I feel like are such a key piece of actually making the offer. Sometimes boutiques get so caught up in driving the traffic that they forget their site actually has to be decent once the customer gets there to convert the customer, right? Has to have good product mix, merchandise well, great branding, great pictures. If you have recommended product apps or exit intent pop-ups, all these things that can help you sell and really connect with that customer on another level than just your basic free Shopify template would. All right, once you've made the offer, here's where the funnel can go one of 2 ways. Either they purchase, which we'll talk about now, or we're going to remarket them, right? So let's talk about what happens when they purchase, because from time to time, I kind of hear this from boutiques as well, or I see this happening with boutiques. They focus on getting people to purchase, but then they kind of forget about following up after the purchase. Like once the money was in their bank account, they were like, see ya, thanks for your money. But this is the most crucial part in the relationship, because this is where a customer decides if they're ever going to shop with you again. So your first impression here has to be dynamite. So let's talk about, what do you do in your strategy, in your sales funnel, to really complete this process and drive more traffic from these customers in the future. Build repeat customers and build your customer lifetime value. So the unboxing experience. Having a great unboxing experience, if you watch any type of YouTube videos, you know is crucial. And then within that unboxing experience, having a great product insert or package insert that has a specific call to action. No more just throwing in your business card with 50,000 social media links on it. No, you need to give them a card that has a very specific action you want them to take, which is most valuable to you. Your email thank you series. Hopefully you've got this autoresponder set up just like you do your welcome series. Once someone purchases with you, you can actually segment this. It could be their first purchase with you, or repeat purchases with you, or purchases over a certain dollar amount with you. Can put them into these different funnel automations that thanks them. And if they're brand new, You can talk about your brand and why this is so important to your mission. If they've been there for a while, maybe it triggers a specific offer you're going to give them just for being a VIP customer, which goes into segmenting lists to be VIP customers. It's pretty simple to do that in MailChimp to set up those automations once your customers hit a certain point. Then you can download, figure out who they are, and give them specific offers or host specific events just for them. This is also strong customer service and return policies. And can we just hammer on return policies for a second? Sometimes in our community, I hear some of our ladies complaining about returns and talking about how upset they are when a customer wants to return something and it's 3 days outside of their window, or it just doesn't, fit them quite right. I just want to mention that as a customer, if I know that a boutique has my back and they're going to help me no matter what, granted, as long as I haven't worn the garment, right, and caused damage to it myself, but if it was really just a timing issue or something came up that I wasn't able to return it within a certain window and I'm not too far outside of that window, when a boutique is able to work with that customer one-on-one to find the best solution, it speaks volumes about your business. So make sure your return policies are clear, they're easy to follow, and your customer service team, or if it's you that's handling all of these conversations with people returning, that you handle it with the end in mind and the bigger picture in mind. Are you willing to sacrifice the customer just to avoid a single return? Or are you willing to build a lifelong customer based on how you handle that return? All right, timely shipping, I think, falls in pretty close to return policies, and making sure that you have shipping notifications being sent to Facebook Messenger so the customer knows exactly when the product is processed and shipped, and making sure it's shipping quickly. That's a really quick way to lose a customer, is having slow shipping. So timeliness is key. And then to wrap it up, customer feedback, reviews, and customer photos, making sure you're continuing that conversation with the customer, and then segmenting your re-engagement with your customer list. And that would be based on brands they've purchased, or types of products they've purchased, or if they've purchased at a pop-up shop, an event, in your store, wherever they're at, so that you can come back and speak to them later on in the funnel when you're remarketing to them and building that relationship again with them in a really specific way. But what if they don't purchase with you? Then what happens? Well, then we move on to the last piece in the funnel before it starts itself all over again, and that's remarketing. So if someone comes to your website, they look at products, and then they bounce off your site, then what? Well, the first key would be dynamic product ads. Now, some of you probably set these up all by yourself, or a lot of you probably use something like Shoelace, so it's done for you. If you're not familiar with Shoelace, tag me in the group. I'll be happy to share. And in fact, we have a really big discount for members, which I don't think I've even posted in the group yet, just for you guys to try out Shoelace. So let me know. I'll give you that discount on our accountability thread. But dynamic product ads, what they do is they utilize your Facebook pixel to track who's coming to your site, what they're looking at, and then if you don't buy something, they go back to Facebook and they show you that exact product that you were looking at again, trying to encourage you to come back and complete your purchase. Because you and I both know sometimes we're scrolling Facebook and we find something that we like, but we're in the middle of something and we only have a couple minutes to look, but we actually don't have time to complete that purchase, right? That's a really common cause of bounce rates. So making sure you're persistent and getting back to that customer is going to be key. You also have abandoned cart emails in your arsenal, which you can send them right through Shopify, or you can set up your own custom abandoned cart emails through MailChimp or whatever provider you want to use. Then there's traditional retargeting ads. We talked about dynamic ads, which are the ones that actually show you the product. Traditional ads are ones you set up yourself through your custom audiences in Facebook Ads Manager. Super simple to do. You're simply targeting people who have visited your website in the last 30 days, but have not reached the confirmation checkout page, right? So you know they've viewed content, but they haven't purchased content. And now you can serve them any type of ad display that Facebook offers. And you're going to set this up as a conversion ad. So you could send a single image ad. You could send an ad that's a carousel. It could be a video ad. It could be collection, whatever you want it to lay out like. But again, you're targeting the people who've been to your website and bounced off. There's the exit intent pop-up, which if you already have a pop-up on the homepage of your site collecting email addresses, you'll be somewhat familiar with exit intent. It's the pop-up that appears when it senses your mouse scrolling up to the upper right-hand corner to click out of that X. And it says, wait, don't go, and gives them some enticing reason to stay on the site. It's a good way to remarket to people who might bounce before it actually happens. There's also persistent cart, and there's several apps that'll actually do this and make your shopping cart sticky, so that when someone comes to your site, like we were talking about on their mobile phone, they only have a couple minutes to scroll Facebook and then they have to go back to work. Well, what happens when they come back to your site on a different device and all their products are gone? Well, you can use persistent cart apps to fix that problem. All right, and then finally, once you've gone through all of these methods, there's the ongoing remarketing. Once that customer's been to your site, they've been in your funnel, they've been a hot or a warm buyer, now the entire funnel, which I go back here, starts over. We've acquired them, built a relationship, given them an offer. Hopefully they've made a purchase, but if they haven't, we remarket, and then we go back to building a relationship. All right, one quick real life example before we wrap up. Let's talk about a really common strategy that you're going to use to build customers into your funnel. You're going to start with dynamic ads. And then you're going to start with dynamic ads. Actually, I think my real life example, I didn't even finish on the screen. My words are not the same thing that I was wanting to talk about. So let me skip ahead and give you a real life example, which I wanted to be, you have someone, okay, I gotta regroup, go back to my notes. Real life example is someone you want to get into your funnel, you're serving them ads first. So that branding video for your boutique that you're running on an ongoing basis. I'm just really doing good at screwing up the end of this video, you guys. So you're running Facebook ads to build new customers and get new traffic to your website. This is the branding video that I was talking about. You're running it to a cold audience, like a lookalike audience or a saved audience on Facebook and on Instagram too. You're getting people to like or comment or do something to click on that post. Then, once they do, they're in that first step of your funnel. So now you're going to go in and you're going to create an offer or a giveaway or something to get them to take the next click. So the offer may be a giveaway for a $50 gift card for people who sign up for your email list this week. And you may build it into type form. And so now you're making a post, you've got a graphic, and you're sharing the link to your type form for people to sign up for your email list. And now you're boosting that post to people who like your page, right? So they're in your funnel, they've liked your page, but now we're going to come back and try to get them to take the next step and continue to build that relationship with you. Once they've entered that contest, now they're automatically going to get an email responder from you, either telling them they won the giveaway or the contest, or let's say you, rather than ran a contest, you offered them a download of some kind, like an ebook you created on how to dress in the season's latest trends with items they may already have in their closet. And they sign up for the ebook, immediately your email responder sends them the ebook, and then it sends them 4 or 5 emails in the series introducing them to the brand, talking more about your style, more about how they can dress using these different strategies, right, in your funnel. Now, you're going to continue to just serve them content organically. Social media, on your email list, so on and so forth. And you're going to work them into the position where they're the hot buyer. And now, as you're serving them that ongoing sales content as well, those recap posts every week, your new arrival launches, your live sales, now they're going to be ready to buy. Either buy or click to your website, or you're going to remarket, and the funnel's going to start over again. Hopefully that example made some sense without it being on the screen and just being off the top of my head. But it's all a funnel that we can use every single day. But I think sometimes we get so caught up in just creating Facebook ads and creating some social media posts just to fill the white space that we forget, where are we actually trying to drive people? What actions do we want them to take? And what's the call to action that I'm going to give to them, right? So what's the big takeaway here? And that is that conversions don't just happen because you post products. Just because someone likes your page and you're showing them something for sale every 30 seconds doesn't mean they're going to convert. So in every action that you take, every piece of marketing that you build, you have to start with why. You have to put yourself in the shoes of your customer, be consistent with your branding, your messaging, and you have to be persistent with your follow-ups to ensure that you're not leaving any of that 98% of traffic on the table, and that you don't lose a customer after the purchase is made. Because remember, this is all about new customer acquisition and about customer retention. It's the life cycle of your business, and it's how you keep your funnel going. So if you're persistent, you'll get it. If you're consistent, you'll keep it. I love that quote. All right, game plan, guys. Week 4 this week, all about creating your traffic plan, is this video. There's no worksheet to go with it. I figured you could take great notes on this video, but I do want to hear on your accountability thread, what funnel are you going to set up? What funnel do you not have in place that you feel like as a result of this video, you're confident in setting up? Tell me about it. Ask me questions about it, and I'm happy to jump in and help you out with that funnel. And we could go into much more depth if you'd like to. And don't forget to enter the contest that we have going on, and that is tickets to the Boutique Summit and a number of other great prizes. Make sure you let me know that you watched this video. Comment below on YouTube, let me know that you watched it and what you took away from it, and then hop on over to our accountability thread and comment there as well. All right, guys, have a great week. We'll be back here next Tuesday for the Week 5 challenge in the 2018 Best Year Yet series.